What's going on, everyone? This is ODC. It's me, and I'm back with another action figure review. This is my review of the Star Wars Black Series Deluxe 2-pack Luke Skywalker and Wampa Hoth 2-pack set, whatever you want to call it, all that fun stuff. I really do enjoy this set. I've had it for a long time. I almost said a Wong, W-O-N-G, a Wong time instead of a long time. Wow. But anyway, I actually did pick up this second set from GameStop back near, I think it was around Force Friday, and I just never got around to reviewing it. So I actually am shooting this review on my iPad, so if I sound a little bit different, it's because I have a headset and microphone on from my normal reviews, where it's the echo of my voice is bouncing off the walls. So I really do enjoy this 2-pack. I think it looks really good. Just kind of swivel Luke around here, and he's gonna give him a big bear hug. He's not gonna eat him, just a big bear hug. But Luke looks really cool. I do enjoy this figure. Any Luke Skywalker figure. Luke is probably, it's 1A, 1B. You know, Darth Maul and Luke Skywalker are my two favorites from the movie and the comics, and just overall love both characters. Grew up, what was it? I think that's the first time I ever saw a Star Wars film. Long story short, was Return of the Jedi, when Luke Skywalker's in the in Jabba's palace trying to get in the Rancor, the whole Rancor scene. So that's when I started falling in love with the movie. I was like, what is this about? I need to watch this. You know, me being born in 1983, I didn't really have the privilege of seeing the original series in the theater. I was too young, so I had to wait for VHS. Yes, VHS. For it to come out on to watch it. But this is a really good set. I digress off of that, so you know a little bit of my backstory there. I really do like this set. I feel like it's the set that's kind of forgotten about. A lot of people talk about the Tauntaun and Han Solo set, but this I feel like is the more expensive set. By the way, it ranges anywhere from $42 to, excuse me, burp, around 50 and upwards of 60. So I know the Tauntaun and Han Solo set goes for around the 35 to 40 range. I actually picked a set up for, what was it, $20 on Force Friday also. My good buddy Rob from Rob's Rogues picked me up one. But really happy about this set. He does come with some accessories here. He comes with his lightsaber and his DL-44 blaster pistol, which does fit right into his hand here. Really nice looking. Looks really good. I really do like the sculpt on him, and hopefully in the future we get some more Hoth. I know we are getting a original trilogy Snowtrooper, but I'd like some more Hoth. Like I feel like we really have just missed out on the Rebel Troopers, and I'd like a Hoth Rebel Trooper. I'd like an Endor Rebel Trooper. I'd like just a bunch of different Rebel Troopers. So that would just be really nice if we got that. Maybe instead of getting another Stormtrooper box set, we can get a Rebel Trooper box set. But as you can see, his medals here, as he has shown that he is a commander at this point. He's got medals on his chest there, and then over here, and a really nice sculpted belt that's connected to his lower torso here, as you can see. It's not like Han Solo's where it is removable. It is just sculpted on there. So that looks really cool too. I concur. I agree with that. He does come with a lightsaber, and I think this is actually one of the better blue bladed lightsabers. It's a nice translucent blue, darker blue, which I think beats the ever-loving holy bejesus out of Obi-Wan Kenobi's. But it is detachable from the blade, so if you just want to have the hilt attached, you can just kind of hook it up here. No problems there. like I said, his gun does fit right in his holster, no problem, and it does strap right in. As far as Luke's articulation, though, his head is on a ball peg hinge joint, and it can look up about that far, and it's kind of hard to get his head looking up a little bit because of the sculpt, but his head can look down. And let's see if we got some jive. Oh no, we got a little bit of jive turkey. Minuscule jive turkey. That's what we're talking about here. But his head can fully rotate. And not really, and there's no tilt there either. His arms go up about that far. And they go down, full 360 rotation on both ends. Single bend at the elbow, which is about 90 degrees, and he has a swivel at the elbow. He does have a forearm swivel and no wrist articulation. I'm actually not really sure why they decided to go with that. I'm not sure if they use the exact same wrist swivels as Han Solo and just kind of reuse the forearms. I think Han has two pistol hands, so it might be the same forearms. I'm not 100% sure. So I apologize for that. But he does have his diaphragm joint, which is up kind of high right here, and it does kind of swivel, and it does pivot side to side and a little bit forward and back, but doesn't really crunch, though, because of how high up the torso is from the lower torso. But he can do the splits actually pretty well. And then his legs go forward nicely as well. And then you do have a swivel at the thigh and double jointed knees. And he does have an ankle hinge, which goes forward and back, and an ankle pivot. And he does have four peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So if you do want to connect him to a tauntaun, so if you get two Han Solo sets, you can set him up with a tauntaun. No problem there. Let's just connect his really good sculpt and paint work on the lightsaber hilt. Looks really good. And then if you want to just have him holding that, you can kind of skirdirk. Let me know in the comments below what you know that reference is from. Yeah, looks really good. Really happy with that. Now let's move on to the Wampa. Okay. Well, Mr. Wampa. Hello. Won't you tuck me in tonight, Mr. Wampa? I don't know what that's from. Anyway, his arms are a little bit different from right to left. On his right side, he's got this swivel joint. On this, he has a regular articulated ball hinge joint. He's just got a swivel on this side because he has a gimmick. In case you didn't know, his arm is removable. Unfortunately, it just kind of pops off here and there, so you really have to use the force and push it back in. So, to get it to stay in nicely and snug. But it can swivel. See, it is like, so you can pose it nicely. It does have a single bend at the elbow, and it's about a little bit more than 90 degrees, and he does have a swivel and a hinge joint there. And he does have a hinge joint at the wrist, and he does have a swivel at the wrist as well. So there you go with that. And then you have the ball hinge joint right here. And with mine, it's wanting to, I hope it's not going to break, but as you can see right there, it's wanting to separate a little bit from the socket. So it might just be a defect with mine, but just be forewarned, be very careful with your shoulder joints on this guy. But it can go up about that far, and it does go down. Full 360 rotation. And he does have the single bend and the same as the other side. And then he's kind of got Chewbacca articulation when it comes to the diaphragm and upper torso. He does have a swivel up top like Chewbacca, and then he has this lower swivel down here. And he does, let me just see. He doesn't really crunch. I would say a little bit he crunches, not too much, but he can do the splits about that far. And his both legs go forward nicely. And then he does have a cut joint at the thigh, which can swivel. Single bend at the knee. And it also swivels. And then he's got a hinge joint at the ankle, and then he's got an ankle pivot, and then he's got 2 peg holes at the bottom of his feet. So overall, I mean, I do like it. I like that his arm is removable. It's you know, it's accurate to what happened in the film. He did cut his arm off. But I think I would have preferred if this had some sort of clip inside the joint, and maybe a button on the back where you can kind of pop it off or press the button down and then pull this off, instead of just kind of having to use the force and pull it off. But overall, I like the paint deco. I think something's a little bit off with the teeth. I feel like the teeth could have been a little bit better sculpted, but they are sculpted in there. They just look a little bit off. Not sure what it is. Something's a little bit off there. But I do like the horns coming down in front of his head. That looks really good. I like the yellow on the nose and underneath the eyes. It kind of brings out his gray, which actually is painted underneath that yellow, and then the stone black eyes. The blood effect could have been a little bit better. It's a little bit too light of a red, but you know, I'm not going to beat him up for that. It's not too bad. It would have been really cool if he came with like a leg or some sort of bone for him to chew on. That would have been a nice little accessory from eating the tauntaun. Poor tauntaun. But the rest of him is nicely sculpted, including the hands where the nails are, or the claws, I should say, and then the claws on the bottom of his feet too. But overall, really like this 2-pack. Like I said, I have pretty much every single Luke Skywalker. I do have every single Luke Skywalker released in the 6-inch line of the Black Series, and I'm pretty happy with this set. Yeah, definitely really cool. The one thing I do want to point out about this arm that does detach here, I mean, if you're going to have it displayed, you can't, the thing about it is that you can't have it displayed like this because it's got this silly little peg sticking out. So, I mean, if you're ACBA or whatever you want to do, if you're taking, you know, photos, you're probably going to want to lay it down like so. And then you can have this side like that. I wish they would have also painted maybe a little bit inside of that hole so it doesn't look so much like a hole. You know what I mean? So if you shoot it from a certain angle and he's like, "Oh, my arm." Arr. I don't know. That was my weak attempt of doing some sort of pose with him with no arm. But overall, I do like this set. 2 thumbs up. Let me get my other thumb in there. There we go. And then just squish the head. And then there you go. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching as always. Rate, hate, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys on the flip side.